Running an e-commerce brand on TikTok Shop isn't an easy task. There are so many things that you need to be doing in order to optimize your revenue and your profitability long term. In this video, I'm going to address the 7 common mistakes that I see that affect your ROI for your TikTok Shop to help you maximize your ability to grow and to produce profit. Now, we all know within TikTok Shop, there are certain things that you need to be doing, and if you're not aware of them, they could be hurting and tanking your ROI and your profitability, as well as your growth trajectory on TikTok Shop. So let's dive in here and talk a little bit about this. We have had dozens and dozens of managed brands underneath our roster, and we see the same 7 things every time we audit a TikTok Shop account. And so by the end of this video, you're going to have clarity on exactly what action steps to take in order to help fix your ROI and know and feel good about covering all these things moving forward. So we're going to go through all these 7 mistakes in almost all the accounts that we see. We're also going to go through the exact fix behind it, what the problem is, and then talk about the solution behind it, and what really does affect the biggest levers on your profitability and ROI. So mistake number 1, target ROI is not a ROAS dial, okay? Cranking that number up or down, what it does is it affects your ability to spend on GMV Max. And so when you increase your target ROI and you want to gain a higher profitability in TikTok Shop, your GMV Max campaign is not going to spend as high because it's all determined based on its confidence level in its ability to produce conversions at the ROI that you set. And so if you're trying to achieve a higher ROI, it's counterintuitive to increase your ROI because the goal for you is to create enough purchase data and purchases within a certain frequency and timeline so that you can optimize for ROI down the road. Because you have to think about this, right? The way that this works is that TikTok Shop needs to have purchase data, needs to have those purchase data points. If you crank up ROI, it's not going to have the confidence level to spend in order to acquire that data and therefore be able to achieve your target ROI or your target ROAS. So the way you need to think about this is you need to be thinking about how if GMV Max was a person, and you wanted to have confidence that this person could execute the things that you want them to do, you have to lay out for them the right parameters, the right instructions, and the right information in order for them to be confident that they can complete the task. And with GMV Max, it's very much similar. It needs to have that brand-specific data inside the account in order to have the confidence level to increase and scale and be able to achieve that ROI. And second to that is the layer behind that is if it doesn't have content that is converting well and doesn't have sales on it and all you're getting is sales in your product card, well, guess what? Now it can't be confident that a piece of content that comes in through GMV Max is going to be able to scale efficiently because it doesn't have the correct inputs in order for it to achieve the ROI. And so it comes back to there's layers to this. It's like an onion, right? You peel back the layers, and one of the other layers behind this is that even if you set a high target ROI, it doesn't mean it's going to spend, but the layer behind that is also the content itself. Is you just don't have good content. You need to be better at making content that's going to convert. And that can come through focusing on high quality at scale rather than just on volume with samples. So if your ROI is not strong, then your content is the problem. And mistake number 2 is stop running the entire catalog that you have to sell, right? We don't want every single SKU running. We just want to focus and hyper-focus on those core SKUs with a few variants in order to scale that up to the moon, all right? So here's an example of an account that we are managing right now, where you can see the cost is around $72,000. We've had 20,000 orders with a $3.48 cost per order, generating $270,000 in gross revenue in pounds, right? And so the way we scale this particular brand is that we focused on just identifying what that core SKU is and those few different variations that we're running, and we're just focusing on that. The problem is that when you're a brand, you're trying to scale, if you have too many things that you're spread out doing, it's not going to allow you to channel all of that spend and the money that you have into that one SKU to get that to a point where it's really, really good and has a good profitability, right? You scale that up a little bit to where you have a ton of sales, ton of reviews in the listing, creators are seeing it, they're seeing all the GMV that it's generating, and they want to hop on board and make a video for you as well. And that's where things snowball over time, right? And so you want to kind of do this strategically. Is the mistake I see too many brands making when they come to TikTok Shop, where they're trying to get to that 100K month, that 250K month, is they focus on too many SKUs at the same time. Drop the SKUs that are taking up all the budget, all the time, all the video content you're getting. Focus on just 1 to 3, arguably, if you can get it down to 1, that'd be great. 3, 2, or 1 core SKUs, and just focus on that. just focus on those first, get those to a level where then you can introduce a new SKU over time. And that way you can have some evergreen SKUs that are actually converting for you consistently. And the algorithm is confident in how to convert that specific SKU with that offer inside of that content with the content angles that you find that are going to be working. So again, I would consolidate, simplify, and focus more on one thing. Mistake number 3 that I see is you are starving the algorithm. The content velocity is your bottleneck. So when we look at our content velocity is defined as how many creatives are we getting each week, each month, right? And so we want to increase our creative velocity, enable for us to scale, because then we have the correct amount of content in order to sustain the budget level to achieve the ROI that you're setting a target for, right? And so when you're looking at your content velocity, right, and this is just kind of like a little bit of a benchmark for you, right? If you're between 0 to 25K a month, you should be making about 30 to 75 creators per week. 25K to 100K a month, you want to be at 75 to 150 creators per week. 100K to 250K, you want to be at 150 to 500 creators per week. At 250K to 1 million a month, you want to be at 500 to 1,000 videos a week. And then when you're at 1 million to 2.5 million, you want to be doing 1 to 4,000 videos per week, right? And so there's levels to this. This gives you a bit of a ballpark of what you really need to be doing in terms of output and content velocity. And if you're far below these thresholds, you're not even going to have a chance to get the revenue and the ROI that you want to. And so the way I always like to teach people about this and to educate brands about this is that focus first on revenue and the amount of sales and worry about ROI later. In the beginning, in getting revenue and sales, you have to have as much content velocity as you can and produce that with a benchmark of like the content has to be high quality. Right. And I make many other videos on the channel. We talk about what high quality content means. So make sure you go and check those out on the channel. But it's important to know that these are just kind of like benchmarks for you. And you have to be able to produce high quality content at scale as best as you can with the resources that you have. But as you continue to level up, you'll increase that more and more and more and more, especially when you use something like a brand in a circle or a brand community, a creator community to be able to run those creators through that community. Now, you can see here that within this particular account, just for the month of June, we did £408,000. You can see 7,717 posts with links. And then we've also had 1,700 creators with mass authorization. And then we've had 6,300 total authorized posts. So you can see like a massive amount of content. And even if you can look here at the scale, between June 22nd and also June 30th, there was a massive influx of videos that happened, almost 1,000 or more in that week in order to get to that kind of scale. So again, you just have to remember that scale from content also comes from focusing on the quality. But then as your products start ranking for the creators to handpick, you're going to get additional videos because your brand is basically ranking super high for creators to use it because it's trending and it has very high growth velocity. And so these affiliate creators are going to notice that and want to jump on board because they know they're going to make more commission. Mistake number 4. Waiting 72 hours really proves nothing when it comes to GMV Max. So when we look at our campaign structure and what we're actually doing, we have to be unemotional about these decisions. If you do not have the budgets to sustain a 3 to 5 to 7 day to 14 day timeline of a campaign running at that budget, then you don't have enough budget, right? You don't have enough of a budget to really let this learn and let this figure itself out. When you start a new campaign, you've got to give it time. You've got to give time for the creatives to figure out what stage to go into, right? We've got exploring and then explored, the new different stages of creative, which I'll make a video about very soon. And then we go into underperforming, performing, and outstanding, right? And so they're categorized differently. And so within this 1 to 2 week window, we have to allow the creative to go through these different phases in order to identify where they end up landing. That's when new content needs to be funneled in so that we have more available to be able to go into exploring. And then in that exploring stage is when they figure out if, hey, is this a good video? Is this not? And it's gauged on a few different metrics. One of them is the 2-second view rate, which is the hook. The second one is the ad click rate, which is what's the intent for people to view the video to then click on the product card, and then also the conversion rate. Those metrics are key metrics and KPIs that TikTok is looking at and engaging where those metrics fall and then categorizing them after they've gone through this exploring stage. So remember, do not make major changes within 72 hours. We recommend that you wait at least a week before you make any change whatsoever on GMV Max. You need to give it time to learn. Mistake number 5 is you need to scale in steps, right? Take this in small steps towards where you want to go. You don't want to aggressively scale spend. It's going to shock the algorithm. It's going to affect its ability to grow. And when you do that, you can see here in this example, that we noticed that on this account, we significantly changed the budget and bumped the budget up and the ROI. And you can see it dip very heavily after this. This is kind of a normal adjustment period. And then we were able to kind of sustain it throughout the rest of the month of the beginning of July. But you can see that there's a massive dip, and this happens when you make major changes to the campaign. And so general rule of thumb and benchmarking for making changes is you want to make changes in 20% to 50% increments of your budget and then also your ROI. So you don't want to be moving things too much and just kind of slowly taking steps towards where you want to go and monitoring those metrics to make sure they're headed in the right direction. So that is another big mistake, is just scaling in steps and not, doing things too drastically. Now, when it comes to this mistake here as well, this is a misinterpretation of the impact of TikTok Shop. Now there's a new feature that came out that talks about this a little bit, or a new metric in TikTok Shop, but you are really looking at half of your ROI and half of your impact of your brand if you're just singling out and looking at TikTok Shop. It is a known fact, and it has been proven by many different aspects of, that you can't have a direct attribution through Amazon, for example, but there's been a lot of studies and cases where TikTok Shop has been started, and there's a relationship between TikTok Shop views and TikTok Shop sales with increased search on Amazon, increased sales on Amazon, and also increased Google traffic as well, because people are going to you to actually search for things. And then because they're finding you on TikTok Shop, they're also then getting retargeted on Meta, and then also purchasing through Meta as well. There's a new metric called off-site GMV. It's in the analytics. I think it's under marketing analytics. And in those marketing analytics, you can see the off-site GMV. It gives you a week to be able to look at okay, how many sales were attributed to our Shopify store from views and also product card visits from TikTok Shop linking through the TikTok Pixel. So you can now do that, and you can measure your off-site GMV and your correlation between your Shopify website and your TikTok Shop. So that's just one metric you can measure. But remember that in the grand scheme of things here is that TikTok Shop helps people discover your products and then learn about you, and then they'll be retargeted and they'll find you in other places, right? Perfect example of this is a lot of times in even the older generation, they are on TikTok, they're searching, they find a product. They're going to go to Amazon where they have a Prime account to purchase the product, because that's just where they purchase things, right? So there's examples of this everywhere. But just know that when you're building TikTok Shop, sometimes you need to remember that you're actually buying the cheapest attention, and that attention that you're buying is actually impacting your other channels very positively. So that is mistake number 6, is not factoring in those other things and measuring them. So you can see here's the offsite GMV. So you can see there's been an increase in offsite GMV. You see offsite effect at 3.42. You also see TikTok Shop GMV or offsite GMV 775 of $22,678 in TikTok Shop GMV. Pretty cool to be able to see that as well. Mistake number 7 is kind of the set it and forget it mentality. This is really where it really affects your decision making, your ability to grow if you just kind of let things happen. Now, when it comes to scaling, right? When we did our first 140K day, which is about 105K pounds in a day, we were in the campaigns almost every couple of hours, changing the budgets and adjusting things. It's something called surf scaling. It's a concept that you are probably familiar with if you've been running Meta ads for a while. Surf scaling is something you can do in GMV Max as you're scaling. You have to remember that TikTok Shop GMV Max, even though it may be simple and looks simple to run, you still cannot leave it just sitting on autopilot expecting that things are going to improve. You've got to be in there analyzing, looking at the content stages, making sure you look at the content funnel, what stages, with available, the exploring and explored creatives, and see what the pipeline looks like, looking at, the last 7 days, looking at a day-by-day basis of performance, and then making changes when you're able to hit budgets, right? So once you hit your cap budget for the day, if your ROI looks good, you should be increasing those budgets to keep it spending throughout the day. And so you really just need to look at this as it's your attention to the campaign, and knowing also what data to look at really does have an effect on your ability to grow. And so the more you get educated, the reason I even have this channel is to educate you on how to do TikTok Shop and what to think about and what to do and what the strategy looks like. And also from someone who's actually in these accounts doing this stuff every day to help give you more insight into what you actually need to do. So make sure you track the funnel daily. It will really tell you what to do next and what steps that you need to take. So where are you right now, right? So if you're a brand who's doing over 50K a month across all of your revenue channels, and you're looking to work with someone to help you scale and help you grow, and you're just curious on whether your brand is a good fit for TikTok Shop, please go down below in the description and book a call with us. My team and I will get on with you and talk to you about your TikTok Shop, talk to you about your brand, whether maybe bringing you on to TikTok Shop is a good idea or not, and go through a series of questions to help understand where you're at your situation. And even if it's a good fit, we'd love to have the opportunity to work with you. We are very, very selective with who we bring on because we want you to be successful, and therefore we want to be successful. We do have performance incentives set up that way so that we do benefit from these relationships to make sure we are picking the right partners. And second, if you're a brand doing under 50K a month and you want support and help and you want answers to your questions, please go down below and join the Academy, X Factor Academy. We just got rid of founders pricing, so you can join now below. It's still at a very, very good rate. You get access to me and my team. We do Q&A calls. You have access to course material as well. And you can get help in there with other brand owners and people who are running TikTok Shop as well. We hope to be able to work with you one day. So go down below and join the Academy as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Appreciate you being here. Hopefully you learned something today. Let me know if you have any other questions down below. Watch this video next, and I'll see you in the next one.